Overthinking and over-explaining yourself. If you have a brain like mine, this is something I struggle with. So any advice I give is stuff, that I need to take myself, because I very much struggle with like overthinking, overanalyzing, maybe over-obsessing at times. I do have like a form of OCD, which is, obsessive compulsive disorder. So I can tend to like overthink a lot, about many different things and situations. So, I just want to give some tips and advice that helps me during those moments, and, talk to anybody out there struggling with that type of mental illness. Just know that you're not alone. And if you have a brain like mine, it can be really frustrating. Because sometimes the overthinking can be a good thing, right? Like you're thinking of every possible case scenario. So you're like, okay, well, I'm prepared because I'm thinking of every possible outcome that could happen. But at the same time, it's exhausting, it's draining. And like, when there's so many different like outcomes that you're overthinking about, it's like, well, how do you know which one is right? You know what I mean? So it can just be like exhausting. And I just feel like at times, maybe, my friends and family tell me differently, but I feel like sometimes it can make me annoying because I'm always overthinking everything. And it can kind of hold you back from being in the moment in life, because when you're overthinking all these things, that can cause like fear, stress, and anxiety. So yeah, it can just be really overwhelming. And there's periods during my life where I feel like I don't overthink as much. And then there's certain periods like when I have my menstrual cycle, all the girlies out there know what I'm talking about. I was diagnosed with PMDD, so I tend to overthink the worst and get the highest anxiety like a week before my period and during my period. So I feel like those are the times when I really overthink and overanalyze the most, and I get super high anxiety. Like I overthink sometimes, like not on my period, but it is the worst like during that time. So I'm sure a lot of women like can relate to this and understand that. And, even if you don't have OCD or something like that, like I'm sure everybody in life, like we tend to overthink at least sometimes in our life. Some people it's just worse than others. Some people it's just every now and then they're overthinking. Some people it's every single day. We're all different. We're all wired differently. Brains work different. And something I noticed, like a lot of people who are in recovery, as I am, a lot of our brains are really similar. Like a lot of people that I've talked to who've like, overcome addiction to drugs or alcohol, kind of talk like a lot about like the overthinking and overanalyzing. So it's nice to be able to talk to people, you can relate to. So anybody out there, like if this is something you struggle with, like something that really helps me is just like talking about it, talking to a close friends or family, getting into support groups. It's so important to have a support system, especially like if the people in your family or your close friends like don't understand as much, like say they don't overthink as much as you do. It's really important to like get out there, find some good support groups and people you can talk to who like have similar brains as yours, because it just helps talking about it and like being able to talk to somebody that can relate and like can actually understand. Because people in our life who don't suffer with the same kind of illness or brain disorder, like it might be harder for them to relate or fully understand, when you're venting to them. Not that you can't vent to them, but it's just so nice to be able to talk to someone else that has been through it or goes through it on the daily. It's nice to have that support. So that's something that always helps me, is just talking to, like-minded people, getting it out, like expressing how I feel and how like the overthinking and the overanalyzing makes me feel. So yeah, that's something that helps me. Another thing that really helps, and of course, when you're in the moment of it, it's, obviously this is easier said than done, because there's times where I've been in that moment and I haven't used my coping skills, but it's really important that we do use them when we're in that moment. Otherwise we could end up suffering and overthinking all day long. Like we have to use our coping skills to try to at least pull out of that a little bit, because we don't want to waste a whole day with overthinking and overanalyzing, because when I get like that, it can mess up my day at work. I can fall behind on things because I'm like overanalyzing in my brain. So yes, like coping skills are really important. And, something that really helps me during those times when I'm feeling high anxiety and like I'm overanalyzing or over explaining myself, something that really helps me to relax is, I have an oil diffuser. I even have one in my office at work, and just using like eucalyptus or whatever your favorite oil scent is, eucalyptus, rose, jasmine, whatever it is for you. Those are just some of my favorites. And even at work, if I find myself struggling there, like I always turn my oil diffuser on. The essential oils really help like calm you down. You can even put some on your wrists. It really helps a lot. And like deep breaths, that I feel like that's something that we've heard so much in life, but we forget to use it. Like how much just deep breaths and breathing really tremendously helps. And another thing that really helps me, during that time is meditation, meditating, even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if you're at work, like lock yourself in your office or lock yourself in the bathroom and just put on like a 5-minute meditation on YouTube. There's so many good ones on there. There's 5-minute ones, 10-minute ones, however long you want. Like I think meditation is so important, and it definitely helps a bit when I'm in that situation where I'm really, really overthinking about everything. I have to like train my mind out of the overthinking, distract it with something else. So meditation is like huge and very, very helpful. And also like praying about it. I pray about everything anytime I'm struggling or going through things or any kind of mental health episode, whether it be depression, anxiety, overthinking, whatever it is, really bad ADHD moment. I pray and I talk to God about it. And that really, really helps a lot too. I see my cat walking in the background. Hey, Frost. Hopefully you don't come in and interrupt the episode. Love my cats though. So yeah, those are just like some of like my favorite things that really help a lot. And obviously just like distracting your mind. Like if you're not at work and you're not busy, like reading a book always helps. Watch one of your favorite TV shows, do something to just relax and get your mind out of that, like, distract your mind. That's what you really need to do in those moments of overthinking is distract and do something else. Cooking something, baking, whatever it is that's going to make you happy. If you're an artist, like coloring, there's so many like anxiety coloring books and things to help calm down. Painting, painting is really a huge stress reliever. So yeah, just anything like that. Listening to music, that always calms me down. Like I absolutely love music. When I run groups at work, I work in the mental health field. Like I always do music therapy groups. Like music has just always been an outlet for me since like a young child. So doing that really helps a lot in those moments as well. Going for a walk, something as little as that, like it exercise releases endorphins. Like it is so important, and it helps with so many other things besides just like overthinking. It helps with any mental health issue you have. Like exercise is so important. And if you don't feel like doing this crazy intense workout, just go for a walk. 10-15 minute walk is better than nothing at all. And like I said, these are just things that really, really tremendously help me like in those moments. And another thing like I want to touch on is like over explaining. I do it all the time. And it's something I've very much been trying to work on recently. And like when I catch myself doing it, try to stop myself. Like, first of all, you don't owe anybody any explanation. You do not have to over explain and feel like you owe somebody like when something happens, like they need to know every last detail of your business. Like you owe that to them. You do not. It is okay to be discreet and private with your life. And this goes for anybody in your life. Like you don't have to tell everybody everything. And that's something I had to learn. And I'm still trying to learn because I've always been like such an open book. And this is just how I've been all my life. But like I started realizing like sometimes it can bite you in the ass. Like you talk to the wrong person and the next thing you know, they're going and spreading it to everybody. Like, you can protect yourself and your life and your peace. And You can have those certain few people you trust and talk to about things, but you don't have to over explain yourself to every single person in your life. And that's something I had to learn, because I always felt like I owed an explanation to somebody, and it didn't matter who it was. Like any person I met, I just felt like I had to tell them everything and tell my life story. Like, no, and that's something I don't do now. I've gotten much better with it. I keep a lot of things private. The only way you're going to find out that much about me and know about me is if I get really, really close to you. But I do still struggle with like over explaining myself. Like, I'll just use an example. Say I'm late to work. Like, I need to tell my boss every last detail and like over explain and tell him my business. And she doesn't ask for me to do that. She's like, relax. Like, I believe you. I trust you. You don't have to like explain yourself to me. Like, I understand. And it's so nice, like when you have people in your life to like tell you that. And some of these things could just stem from like trauma or PTSD. That could be a reason why you like over explain so much. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do that. You don't owe anybody anything. You owe yourself. That is who you owe, is yourself. So I just really wanted to talk about that, because that's something, like I said, I very much struggle with. And we need to know like what to do in those situations. And in situations where I feel myself like over explaining, like my brain tells me like, oh, you're doing it again, I just like try to redirect and like change the subject to something else, and just stop myself. And it's hard, when we've been programmed. Like, retraining your brain is not easy. So you're gonna have times where you screw up and you might, and you're like, oh, I did it again. But as long as you're trying and working to make the change and do something different, that's all that matters. Like, you're not just gonna unlearn all of that right away. It takes time and patience and effort. But you'll get there eventually. You just have to like catch yourself in those moments and be really mindful. So I haven't fully mastered it yet, but I'm getting there. I'm trying. The important thing is I'm aware of it, and I'm trying to do something different, and that's all we can ever do, So don't be hard on yourself if you don't get it right away. Just take it one day at a time. But anyway, I'm going to cut this short because I have assignments I have to do. It's getting late, but we will definitely do another episode touching on the subject, because I think it's something really important that, needs to be talked about more. I love you all. Thank you for all my supporters. You have no idea how much I appreciate all of you. And